Oh, we're on. We're live. Good morning. It is April 20th. Cheers to all the pot smokers. I hope you all have a bunch of fun. We'll honestly probably take part in later afternoon once we're done working a little bit. I personally should we go into that right now? Happy 420. Should I talk about my views on marijuana as a life coach? Well, I would. So I think there's really good times to use it, to do it, depending on, say, if you have shoulder pain, knee pain, and this is an alternative to medicine. Totally think there's a lot of research backing that up that's pretty good and is very helpful to the body. My brother has taken it, and I have some other friends who have taken the CBD oils. Part of me thinks it's a bit of it doesn't work very well per se, for especially how much money you're paying for it. I think it'd be better to pay for like a deep tissue massage, like having some type of like hot tub with hot water, or paying extra for a gym membership with those extra resources if you're looking for any type of alleviation in that. But I also don't, I wouldn't sit here and say that I know the science of it all too well. That fan is driving me crazy. Sorry about that. Hopefully that didn't sound awful. Anyway, we were talking about CBD a little bit, the oils on it. I personally I've never taken it enough to know one way or the other. And I've also been very, very fortunate. My joints are pretty solid. Smaller dude, pretty well set in that regard. So thankful on that. For the flower side of things, where I usually try to lean people towards not doing it is when you're not doing anything. So say if you do it and you're the type of person who can't really function and go out to, whether even if it's something small like seeing friends and going communicating with people you don't know, or but really when it comes to getting stuff done, I think it hurts productivity a lot. I think being sober is ultimately the best way to go. If you're trying to really check in, so a lot of my coaching is based off of when people are really trying to figure out the best version of themselves, and it usually doesn't include that. Or if it does, it's some type of nighttime routine to kind of get to bed initially. However, there's unfortunate news in some sleep studies that I've read up on that it doesn't really help to use pot to go to sleep from a resting standpoint, because you can't, whether you have alcohol in your system or the cannabinoids are firing off like crazy and you're still stoned, your brain has to go through this cycle to help filter it out. Your brain's not about this external stuff so much, so you can go to sleep faster, and especially if you're in pain, then definitely use it. But if you're trying to get the deepest rest possible, definitely I would say being sober through the night is still going to be your best bet. From a productivity during the day standpoint, really ask yourself, am I doing what I need to be doing? Is this matching my priorities? Is this matching the habits that I want to fill in? Is this matching the time that I want to be given? Because if all you do is go eat snacks and watch movies, and your goal is to sell 100 houses this year as a real estate agent, or to buy a couple rental properties for your rental portfolio. Or say for my company, I'm trying to get more coaching clients. If you know self-employed individuals who need to help figure out how to push themselves to the highest degree, please go to talktotanner.com, where we offer free consultations. Short little plug. Back to, so if it comes back to that, the productivity measure, making sure you're improving your performance, you're fulfilling your vision, achieving your goals and such, I would say stay away from it, depending on the goal, right? I would have to read your goals, hear your vision, see your purpose statement, like why you actually do what you do. Like, if you can tell me those with confidence and you have a good plan in place, then yeah, you can smoke pot in the afternoons, in the evenings when you're hanging out, or even during the day if you genuinely feel good while you're doing it. Like, that part's okay. That's cool. So when it comes back, we have a little bit of just that. We talked about if it matches your priorities, yay, happy 420. Let's go ahead and share my screen. We're going to go over today a coaching exercise. And this is an exercise that usually take my clients through. I've actually done this exercise with other companies. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you that it's rocket science that I'm magically created. However, having the intensity and holding you accountable and the system behind that, I think, is the difference maker here at talktotanner.com. Morning life coaching for self-employed individuals. But that's for us to you guys to decide. Let's go ahead and screen share. We have to do the entire screen for audio. Okay. So these are daily success habits. We're going to go through, let's write these out, and then I'll put them back in the chat. I'll bounce back and forth. So my top 3 priorities in life. My top 3 priorities in life. We talk a lot about distractions. We talk a lot about things that take up our time that are just easier. I want us to think about this for just a second. You have the smartest people in the world, geniuses. I'm talking mad scientists making software, just advertising in general for these giant tech companies. Like, these people are beyond intelligent. And they are directing their products directly to pull your attention, to get you to consume. Because if you are not watching, they are not making money. Like, if you're sitting here and watching this video, I'll argue all day that it's worth your time to get you up in the morning, hold you accountable to your priorities. However, it still makes Facebook money, it still makes YouTube money for watching. That's kind of the game it is. And if you notice, especially if you have a profile, then there's going to be a rabbit hole, and content has a negativity bias. People just tend to stare at car crashes more than like someone doing something nice per se. So it's going to keep getting like a little deeper and darker the longer you stay on this stuff. Just a heads up, that's how the algorithms work anyway. To my understanding from that one stolen focus book that we had on the show a couple weeks ago that I read from Jonathan Harry, pretty good. But yeah, he talked a lot about the tech companies, the structure of them, and how they're not evil. They just literally are designed to pull your attention and to take up a lot of your time. And that's not one of our top 3 priorities, right? So asking ourselves, are we in alignment with our priorities? What's one of my priorities? One of my priorities is to get my cash flow for my rental properties to $5,000 a month passively. So that's with management, that's with everything in place. we're looking for $5,000 a month in cash flow. That's a priority for me. And I think maybe it'll go through quicker if I do just one more example. My other top 3 priorities is to have 1 million people watch me, have 1 million total views on my online social media content. So 1 million views, social media. And then my other priority is to gain 5 pounds of muscle. So we want to gain some weight through fitness, moving our physical body. We want to get our rental property portfolio to a point to where we don't have to work anymore. And we want enough views. I mean, there's still work. That's one of the things about rental properties. I get asked this a little bit, and there's definitely like nothing that's completely passive. Like there's still signatures I have to be making. There's still some tax planning that I have to be doing, talking with my accountant. There's still some quarterly reviews and checkups with the property managers and stuff like that. You're still a managing manager to a certain degree. But I'll tell you, it's a hell of a lot easier to do that. Like I would rather take a smaller return and do less of the work so I can actually have the time to do this, because coming up with the topics and actually getting my ass out of bed in 4 a.m. and yada, yada, right? We're all busy, but it makes it a little less easier. So that's nice. But with that in place, so in your plan, putting those steps in place. So for my priorities is to not have it completely passive, because I found out that doesn't really exist when making money, or at least to my experience. There's, I'm sure, other ways that the gurus would tell you about how you don't have to lift a finger and you'll make $1 million. I haven't found it, unfortunately. So we're aiming for that. 1 million views on social media. So if you have any friends, family who you think can benefit from my messages in the morning for accountability, for exercises to improve productivity, daily habits, to become the best version of yourself as a self-employed individual, please make sure to share, comment, and give us some feedback so we can keep trying to help more and more people. We're here to help the people. And then lastly, gain 5 pounds of muscle. I'm going on a trip to Canada, and I want to put it all in my quads so I'm able to hike. So I've been running a lot more, doing squats, and yeah. So I got a workout routine that's going pretty good, trying to push myself. I got about a month to finish this up and do it. We just have been having to pick up the eating, so I've been doing 2 additional meals a day. Do I need to put that on later in here? Okay. Oh, the habits that we'll start. Yeah, that we'll commit to. We'll include that here shortly. So those are my priorities, my top 3 stressors. So once you know your priorities, the stuff that you want to be doing, please sit down and journal about that question. What do you want to do? Go over to your stressors, the things that get in the way, the obstacles, the quick triggers. Because when people are pissed off, they're really bad at making decisions. So bad at making decisions when you're mad. Think about when you're mad and pissed off. Someone said something to you at work. A relative or this and that said something backwards or some bullshit that's not true, but the wrong time in the wrong place can make for a mad individual. And we know this, and it's commonplace. And it's honestly more normal for a human to feel that and experience than not. Like, to say that even the best life coaches in the world, who I'm striving to become, they still hear things that upset them, that stress them in general. And the best way to go about your stressors is to sit down, figure out what the fuck they actually are, and write them out, And you can either avoid them or you can embrace them. But you will not forfeit, quit, take away from your priorities for your stressors. People let their stressors run the life and not their priorities, the ones that are taking them to the promised land, to where they want to go, to have all the fun, to adventure, to get in shape, to be supportive for friends and family, both spiritually, mentally, having those good times over Easter, letting these stressors ruin our chance to take advantage of our priorities. So, what are some top three stressors? What are top stressors for me? Well, my number one was taxes, to be blatantly honest. I hate paying taxes. Paid those this week. I wait till the end. My accountant's pretty good, and yeah, writing off. And I could not obviously write. I guarantee I paid a lot less than most people who were W-2s, but there's still a lot of things I'm learning about whether it's depreciation recapture on equipment, on new windows on the properties, how that kind of all ties together. Because there's a conception that, oh, I own a business, I can just write everything off. And you just got to be really careful, because the IRS is a powerful ass entity. Like the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, for the US of A, baby, they are really good at following up with you. Like they'll take you 2 months to mail you a check for a stimmy, but if you set a direct deposit, they will take money out of your account. And if you're a day late, day short, they will penalize just the crap out of you. So be careful about that. And we should learn that and know that as entrepreneur, as solo entrepreneurs, sole proprietors, people who are self-employed. Please make sure to be careful on those taxes and make sure you get them in if you haven't gotten already in. And but yeah, so staying on top of that, bookkeeping, organization, learning a lot of that stresses me out. What is my number two stressor? I would say prospecting and just putting myself out there in general. The getting in front of the camera, going and doing talks and stuff like that in person, not so bad. But actually taking, say, one of these exercises and just going to people and trying to get more coaching clients, walking into businesses, introducing myself, seeing if they could use any of these exercises, if they could use more accountability, if they need more clarity on their vision and their goals and the direction they're heading, and making sure they have a plan in place to really stay on top of that. That whole pitch in there and the different aspects of it, whether I'm trying to just cold call somebody or I'm sending out a campaign, that kind of stresses me out. And sometimes the stress overrides it, and I don't do it all the time. I'd be lying to sit here and say that I sit here and pound the phones until the cows come home every single day. I don't do that. I'm trying to interchange and slowly chip away at a strategy. So just know, if you struggle with that and that's a stressor for you, you're not alone. That is the hardest thing to do in business. And if you can do that successfully, strategically, in an organized fashion, consistently, and you got the energy with the cherry on top, you will make a lot of money. I guarantee it. Never met anyone who done it so consistently hasn't achieved success. So on the bright side of things, that's the hard road, and it can be really tough, but I've never met anyone who's actually pounded the pavement long enough and came up short with no fruit to bear. So that's good, right? So we just need to keep chipping away at it and see what we can do with it. So we'll go over just those two stressors. We'll use those examples. So taxes, bookkeeping, organization, pretty much, and prospecting for business. I journal about this stuff like just well, I gotta do this too. So we do these exercises together here in the morning. If you're just getting up and rolling out, thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Talk to Tanner. The live morning show for solopreneurs, business owners, real estate agents. Yeah, real estate agents, please make sure you get your taxes paid in and in. I've met many real estate agents who it comes around August and they're vomiting because they look at their tax bill plus the penalty, and sometimes that can be hard to recover from. If not, can totally crush you and ruin your business. Prospecting, taxes and prospecting. Yeah. What supportive daily habits, supportive daily actions could you introduce? Write up to 5 actions that best support you, including your home, personal, and work life. They must be specific and measurable. So you know exactly what to do and can dearly say you have completed the step. So examples, so the habit and the benefit, and let's stick with the under the idea of focusing on priorities and avoiding or embracing stressors. So what could a habit be? A habit that I have now with the bookkeeping is once a Sunday for 30 minutes, I plan out in budget so I have a net worth document, which I usually only give that to, well, I'm not going to put my own financials up on here on the live show. However, I do have a really nice net worth sheet. So if you need one of those, you can reach out to me. And it's really fun. You're just plugging in and you have a really good idea of where all your debt's at, where all your accounts are at. It's a great budgeting tool. And I highly recommend you look at it once a week. And then additionally, just logging expenses that I make, because you don't remember. You don't. If you wait too long, you'll forget and you won't do it. And then before you know it, taxes are due 2 days ago and you're scrambling to get it done. Trust me from experience, the stressor, we're trying to avoid that. So just once a week, the habit of sitting down and going over my budget, my net worth to see where I'm at financially, and then also logging any expenses into my budget tool for tax purposes the coming year. Less time today versus a hellish, very stressful time tomorrow. And the benefit to me, and essentially is to reduce less stresses so I can focus more on the priorities and just be more at peace in general. So think about maybe when you were a kid and you had a tough homework assignment coming up, or maybe as an adult, you have a deadline coming up. You know you have to be doing it and you keep not doing it, and you're going out with friends, you're hanging out, and you can't help but think about this thing that's looming over your head. If you can get rid of those things by just jumping on, taking action, because it is scientifically proven that taking action is one of the best things you can do for yourself when you're stressed, when you have high levels of anxiety. Just take one step forward in it and then breathe a little bit, and you'll probably feel a lot better. But that overlooming of this isn't done, I'm starting to ask other internal questions I don't want to be hearing, like, am I good enough? Yada, yada. That self-saboteur we talk about in coaching, beating the shit out of yourself. Well, to avoid that more often, I'd say is really, really good. And let's do more things that are good for us. We have that down. The benefit to us is to just feel better more often. Okay. You got me. That'll work for me. And which 3 habits will you commit to? Dropping back. So feel free as you have more. You're going through your top priorities, your top stressors, and you go through the habits that really are needed to take place for us to get this done, and then listing out the short benefits, man. Like, why even do this? Is this worth your time? It's good to get confirmation for yourself before you dive fully into it, or vice versa. A lot of people who aren't doing anything at all, this is a much better first step to just get it out, get the clarity on it, and let's get one step forward together. Which 3 habits will you commit to? So one habit that I've committed to is that budgeting for every Sunday for just 20-30 minutes. By the time I sit down, I do this in the morning when I have a cup of coffee. First thing I do, I come over to the computer, kind of get that organized a little bit, just so it feels good. I have some momentum going through the day, get my coffee in me before I have some breakfast with my girlfriend, all that good stuff. So just kind of helps relax and make sure I have things under control. And we're still heading in the right direction, because you want something that you can measure weekly to see if you're heading the right way or the wrong way. They talk about this path in life. And definitely as a life coach, I'm helping guiding you on the path that you pick that you want to stay on. Because a lot of times people will get up and just start walking the wrong direction for 20 fucking years. And then they're like, how the hell did I get so lost? Why do I feel this shitty? Why do I not know where I'm at? Why is this so confusing? Because along the way, we weren't checking in to make sure we were doing something wrong, whether our company was bleeding money and we didn't even know it, or we just didn't have a personal budget and we're just throwing cash around doing this and doing that. And then big bills come from, such as maybe something like taxes, come around the corner, and then we're like, holy shit, I'm fucked. And that's not good either. So getting a good idea of where you're at and doing it on a consistent basis can be very helpful. And I do that once a week on Sunday, 30 minutes or so. And then I journal on a few other things that are a little more personal, and I'm sure we'll go over on the show at some point. So this is a common exercise, getting a better idea of your daily success habits, figuring out what are the top 3 priorities. Are your priorities or your stressors in the driver's seat of your life? We want to get to a point to where our priorities reign true and they triumph. And if you need accountability and support, you can either go to talktotanner.com and check out a free consultation with me, or just keep tuning into the shows on weekday mornings at 5 a.m. I'm here doing it, and I'm here to join you to get started with the day. I believe people who can get up 4 or 5 a.m. can really make a difference and get the shit done that actually matters, and not be sucked into a bunch of other stuff, such as it's 4:20, so I'm going to smoke a joint at like 5 in the morning and kumbaya. You can take a break, just as long as you're on the right path and you're making enough progress. And I'm kind of being a little hard on it because I do really want you to succeed. And a lot of times I'm pulling people out of like a 6-foot grave that they've been digging for themselves. But if you're on the path, it's okay to give yourself a pat on the back and take a break and breathe every second and just sit there, feel, and enjoy life. That's okay too. But if your goals are big, very audacious, just understand that it takes a lot of work, and we got to do this together. We need accountability. We need support. And I'm here to ride if you are. So if you need a morning life coach, I'm your guy. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Remove. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. We're here at 30 minutes. We're over to 5:30. I got to run. I got to go do work for myself now. And I hope this was helpful. I'm excited we're on day 30. So that means technically what? That's 6 weeks, 6 full weeks of going through this show. So we've completed 6 weeks on this show. In the last 3 days, I've gotten up before my alarm clock. It's possible. You can get used to it, baby. Just keep tuning in, keep chipping away. And then you're going to have all this extra time while all these other schmoes are sleeping, and you're on top of it. You're feeling good. You're helping people. You're doing the right thing and kicking ass. And I'm excited to do it all again tomorrow, Thursday, 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be back here hustling, baby. Will you? I hope to see you around. Thanks so much. Cheers. Have a great day, guys. And we will be live again tomorrow, 5 a.m. Central Standard Time, Morning Life Coach over at talktotanner.com. Thanks again. Bye.